Hello, everybody. It is March 27th, 2019 episode. I have no clue what episode this is of Wrestleview Weekly. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com and co-host of Wrestleview Live alongside Adam Martin, editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, where we cover all of the major WWE pay-per-views, including the big one coming up in a couple of Sundays, WrestleMania, coming from New Jersey, not New York, from New Jersey, but also NXT TakeOver, coming up 2 Fridays from now, over at Barclays Center is where it's going to be, over in Brooklyn, New York. Hi. Hello, everybody in the chat room. I know Gills is in there. I know Michael's in there. I see Jamel is in there. I don't know anyone else that's in there. Let your presence be known. Today on the show, Doug, why do you have the NXT logo emblazoned behind you on your green screen? Well, first off, I'm going to be going over a very WTF episode of Monday Night Raw and a very holy F episode of SmackDown Live. Lots of stuff happened on that show, and a lot of stuff happened on Raw that I can't really explain well. Trying to basically, my reaction is basically, huh? Also, plenty of news to go over for the week of the pro wrestling. Not necessarily an injury report, but if you've been wondering where one guy has been who has been injured for the past weekend, well, he's been posting pictures all over his Twitter feed, so figure we'll go ahead and show you there. Also, kind of a cryptic tweet that came out over the pipe yesterday evening, or even, I'd say even this morning, that I kind of want to go over. Kind of making the rounds and people scratching their heads, or if you're like me, you post a gif of Dr. Steve Brule going, you know, you do that. But also major updates to the WWE milk carton. Returning champions abound all over the milk carton this week. But finally, so this is going to be a regular thing that I'm probably going to do with regards to NXT. So NXT TakeOver is coming up in a couple of Fridays. And much like, I'd say a lot of people, hey Andrew, much like a lot of casual wrestling fans that also have the WWE Network, we don't regularly watch NXT TV shows. Not really, we don't. Especially when you have a stream that happens to air simultaneously alongside of a brand new episode of NXT. Hi, how are you? So I decided to binge watch a ton of NXT, starting from after the Royal Rumble and the NXT TakeOver Phoenix show, and going all the way up until now to kind of get myself current on the NXT product. And yeah, I got a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to NXT. Basically, good, bad, and ugly. A lot more good, I guess. But there's certainly a lot of ugly. Also, I want to try to quell a lot of talk when it comes to NXT performers and a humongous fantasy booking wet dream that everyone has had since the since the debut of Wanda Rousey, which we could technically say was about 3 years ago when she made a little appearance there at the WrestleMania alongside The Rock and yanked Stephanie McMahon's arm off. So, hey, Daniel. So, yeah, gonna be talking a lot about the NXT TV product and kind of how I interpret and receive it. I gotta first tell you, it's very, very difficult to watch so much NXT in one sitting, but I have a feeling this is going to become a regular thing just because I don't watch a lot of NXT, and when TakeOver shows come up, I kind of feel in the dark about why some things are important on the show. So, what I'm going to do from now on is whenever an NXT TakeOver show is coming up, I'm going to binge watch a ton of NXT TV and try to cram it all into one of these shows so that you guys can kind of stay up to beat, I can stay up to beat, and we know why in the hell everyone is chanting throughout the entirety of the stupid NXT TakeOver show. So, that's the plan right there. What are we drinking today? We're going back to a good old friend of ours. It is No-Da Brewery's Hopcakes. No-Da Brewery is the North Davidson Brewery out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Hopcakes is an Imperial IPA, 10.2 ABV. It is a very delicious IPA with Vermont maple syrup. It's absolutely one of my favorites. So we are going to be very, very frosty during this show. Not going to be making a whole lot of locks or a lot of predictions. That's going to be for next week's show, where we are going to predict all of WrestleMania weekend. It's a lot of picks, a lot of predictions, and a lot of worry, because whenever I make a locked prediction and I fail at it, we take a shot of the Luna Azul Blanco, the tequila. Yeah, I still got to figure out how many locks I'm going to be making. I've got a feeling that a lot of the locks are going to be imbibed during the show that we will be doing here on the Wrestleview station on the YouTubes 2 Fridays from now, the NXT TakeOver show. Adam and myself are going to be doing a live watch-along alongside the show. And so maybe I will down the shots that I get wrong on that show, which I think would be fair. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun thing. We're not going to broadcast the show on YouTube. That would be against law stuff. So, no, we're not going to do any of that. But we're going to watch the show, make snide remarks, have some decent discussion about things, and yeah, have a good time watching wrestling because we all enjoy doing that. And not take it too seriously. And don't think that people are going to be buried. And try to have, faux anger over things. That's F-A-U-X, not F-O-E. Anger. Take a sip of the sources, because it's now, we're going to talk about a very weird, irrelevant, and oftentimes confusing episode of Monday Night Raw. Okay, so there were a lot of interesting matches that happened on Raw, especially, hey, what's Dean Ambrose doing through a table? Apparently he wanted to fight Drew McIntyre again. More on that later on in the review. Coming to us live from Boston, Mass. So Wanda Rousey is in the ring. She's talking junk and stuff like that. And the usual, But apparently we have a Beat the Clock challenge involving Wanda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. All 3 of them going against different members of the Riot Squad in this Beat the Clock challenge. What does the winner of the Beat the Clock challenge get? The last piece of string cheese at the caterer's table. the good rental to get back on the road. I don't know. The last piece of carrot cake on the caterers. I don't know why this match happened. Why they did this. It was incredibly confusing. Why they did this in the when they announced when I turned on Raw and they said there's a beat the clock challenge involving the three. I'm like, okay, so what's the stip here? What's the incentive? Does the winner get to use a chair or something? Or I don't know. Do they get to be announced last in your intros? I don't know. But it was bad. Okay, the whole concept was incredibly bad. Okay, the promos were okay, but for the love of God, Ronda Rousey beat Sarah Logan in Buck 25. Charlotte Flair Ruby Riott went too long. It didn't go into the Buck 25, and Becky Lynch beat Liv Morgan with 7 seconds to spare. I'm just gonna play the WWE Universe GIF. It made no sense. No sense at all. And and Gil's bringing up they're fighting for oh so important momentum. Well, I'm sure they were, especially going into tomorrow night's episode of SmackDown, which was way more exciting and left a lot of people scratching their heads about what the hell's going on here. But this made no sense at all. Was it a way to, make sure that we knew that the Riot Squad still existed? I guess, but you could have had a 6-woman tag instead. I don't get it. I should not dwell on this. Mike saying on their fun way to start the show, I enjoy Beat the Clock, easy build for the women's match. I knew it was happening, but still, it truly is an incredible achievement for Rousey, Flair, and Lynch. And that's incredibly optimistic. It's a great way to start the show, I guess. But again, why are we doing this? Why? Okay, and I know, suspend your disbelief, Doug. Suspend your disbelief, you're watching pro wrestling. Well, come on. When you got to stip to a match, there's got to be a reason behind it. Beat the clock challenges, the reason behind them is because there's an incentive for beating the clock. There's an incentive that you're supposed to get. For example, Elimination Chamber, you're the last one out of the chamber. Royal Rumble, you're entrant number 30. Stuff like that. Okay, or a gauntlet match, you're the last one into the gauntlet match. And even stupider stipulation match that happened again on SmackDown. Yeah. But I don't get it. I really don't get it. Oh, and by the way, on Raw and SmackDown now, before they go to a commercial break, they are always going to have a performer making their way to the ring or a match in progress to keep you on their station so you can go through the commercials. This is happening on the regular on Raw because after this Beat the Clock challenge, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush are making their way to the ring because they're going to have another match involving Finn Balor, handicap match. And if Balor wins, then he gets his Intercontinental title match at WrestleMania. But instead, Lio Rush says that he's not able to go because of all the bad things that Braun Strowman did to him last week in their tag match. So instead, the good old Jinder Mahal, avoiding the milk carton narrowly, along with the Singh brothers, he'll be teaming up with Lashley to go against Finn Balor. Finn Balor won. Yeah. Watch out. Finn Balor is going to be doing some weird things. Whee! Finn Balor won. Whee! Sorry, I kind of like making those noises when those gifts happen. So Finn Balor won. Lashley is not happy, with the Mahals and the Singhs. Then who can blame them? Because now you're going to be going to WrestleMania and you might be having a squash match like Corbin did at SummerSlam last year. because the Demon is going to be making his entrance at WrestleMania. That's what's going to be happening. If it ain't Belle Biv DeVoe. Hey, CJ, how's it going? Hey, CJ. Yes. Graves saying, oh no, when Jinder's music hit was amazing. Yes, it was very amusing. Yes, yes. Yeah. So that's what's happening there. Later on tonight, we are going to see Kurt Angle facing Samoa Joe with Kurt Angle's farewell tour, and we are now bringing TNA Kurt Angle full circle. Great. There's going to be 3 segments throughout the Monday Night Raw show involving Elias at Times Square around New York City, strumming his guitar and saying, yes, that he'll be doing things. So, yeah, that stuff happened. Aleister Black is making his entrance to be alongside the Ricochet to have another tag team match against the Revival. Why? Again? I don't know. But they won. Again. They did it again. This time, I don't know what for, unless they're going to be going for tag titles again at WrestleMania. Is this a way that we're going to get the Raw tag team titles on the WrestleMania card? Maybe, possibly. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, again, I don't know why that match was happening. Let's see some more stuff from the match. Aleister Black and the Revival are doing things. Black mask to both guys. Yeah, that's really cute. Ricochet doing that really scary flippy dippy thing. Awal Soleil, subscribe to the Wrestleview channel. Thank you so much. Speaking of which, if you have not subscribed to the Wrestleview channel, please do so. What the heck is wrong with you? You just cannonballed right in there. Yes, we don't do a lot of shows on here, so please subscribe. We're really cool people. We don't take this stuff too seriously. All right, not much of a tag team match. I agree with you there, Mikey boy. Drew McIntyre is making his way to the ring. He's going to have a microphone, and he's going to be talking and saying words. Yeah, he got in the ring. He said words about Roman Reigns, about his family, and Roman Reigns comes out and stares at Drew McIntyre, who is considerably taller than him. Yeah, and accepts his challenge, and there you go. So we got Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre at the WrestleMania. There goes Drew, knocking him down with the Claymore drop kick thingy. Yeah, so there you go. Feels like a fun little grudge match to do. Nice way to bring Roman back into the fold by giving him a WrestleMania match. No, it's fair. It's fair. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it at all. Drew McIntyre's walking backstage. He bumps into Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose says that he hasn't been exterminated since he's still standing there. Challenges him to one last match, a last man standing match. So, yay. That's what we're going to get. Hey, did you enjoy Sasha Banks versus Natalya last week? Well, if you loved that, you're going to love it again, because they did it again. Bayley alongside with Sasha Banks, Bayley in tow of Sasha Banks, and Natalya with Beth Phoenix in tow. We've got this match again. Once again, we had an interference from Tamina and Nia Jax in this thing. So once again, why are we doing this? I don't know. Boy. Oh, man. Video package. Hart Foundation is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. They made sure to air that video package when Beth Phoenix and Natalya were in the ring. So to get the nice reaction from Natalya, that's nice. That's sweet. You know, I've got nothing to say about that. No cynicism, no witty retort, no nothing like that. I just like my sources too much. That's why I can't really say much. Charles Caruso is interviewing Kurt Angle backstage. Angle says that this retirement tour isn't about hugs and handshakes. Samoa Joe's a challenge, but this will get him ready for Baron Corbin. This is also his last match in Boston. Baron Corbin walks up to him, says the crowd feels sorry for Angle. Angle should have retired 10 years ago, and the headlines will read that a former Olympic gold medalist will retire in shame. And Angle just says, screw you, and walks off. So, yeah. Coming up next, oh Christ, is a moment of bliss where Alexa will be having Braun Strowman as a guest, and the Saturday Night Live guys, Michael Shea and Colin Jost, via satellite doing interview. All those two guys are going to be, those two guys are going to be in the Rumble thingy as well. So boy, God dang it! Why do we still have these? Why? Why do we have these moment of bliss things? Have been really, really rough. Okay. God. Just help me. Just help me. Seriously. We got Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews in another match. Baron Corbin wins with the end of days. Yeah. That happened. Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair are going to be on ESPN. That sounds really neat. But then next week, on the go-home episode of Monday Night Raw, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair are going to team up against the Riot Squad. What the hell did I just say they should have done on this show instead? Nope. Gil saying the moment of bliss got upgraded to the ring. Well, yeah. Well, I guess that was a plus. So all the fans can actually see what the hell is going on. Anything really does go on. Seth Rollins makes his way to the ring to say stuff. You sound bored, Doug. Let's go to SmackDown. I'm flying through this, CJ. Seriously. Raw stunk. Okay. I am flying through Raw as quickly as I can. Okay. This show stunk. All right. Really, really bad. Seth Rollins is talking smack about Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman comes out and retorts. Seth Rollins scares him. Kurt Angle walks out while Paul Heyman is sitting Indian style on the ramp because Kurt Angle's going to have his match against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe headbutts him to start off the match, and suddenly everyone's like, I remember that shit. Okay. I remember that shit. Watch out, Samoa Joe has got some weird things in mind. Wee! No, wait a minute. No, it's Samoa Joe. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a different wee. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Kurt Angle would win this via a roll-up while Samoa Joe had the sleeper, Coquina clutch on him. Samoa Joe in disbelief. That's a great gif right there of Samoa Joe if you're watching on the YouTubes. That is fabulous right there. Tomorrow, and then on SmackDown, they advertise that AJ Styles is going to be facing Kurt Angle. Yay! TNA storylines coming full circle. Triple H making his entrance. He's going to be addressing Batista's comments of some kind. So Triple H is in the ring. He had a hell of a hard time trying to get an envelope out of his jacket, but just basically told us that Triple H versus Batista is going to be a career-threatening match where if Triple H loses, then his in-ring career is over. Well, this just makes the predicting a hell of a lot easier. No, it won't be taking a shot from that. Finally, last man standing. Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre. Lots of weird, wacky shit happening here, including Drew McIntyre putting Dean Ambrose through the table, which is always fun to do. I wish I could. Little Claymore drop kick to his face, and that's how he would win the match. So there you go. There's Raw. Done. What did everyone think of the show? 69. All right. 69% said thumbs down. No shit. I totally agree. All right. Enough of the mediocrity. Enough of the show that made absolutely no sense. 2 weeks in going into WrestleMania. And yes, there was an appearance by Bobby Roode and Chad Gable where they fucked up their entrance for no reason. It was from nowhere. You know what? That happened too. Take a sip of the sources. We have another can of sources here to help us through this. But never fret, because Where there always is stormy clouds, the sun will always break through them and cast upon glistening drops of dew on the ground the following morning to let you know that tomorrow is a brand new day. How's that for a segue, huh? Speaking of new day and speaking of sunnier shows and happier shows, let's talk about the Blue Show. All right. Enough negativity. Enough boredom. Okay? Enough of that. It's time to talk about happy things. It's time to talk about a show that actually knows what the hell it's doing and actually knows how to throw a wrench in some people's thoughts about a really big match and to get us thinking as fantasy bookers. You ready? Okay. SmackDown Live coming to us over at Uncasville. Uncasville, Connecticut. Is this the first time they've ever been there? What is in an Uncasville? What is in a Uncasville? What is that? I don't know. Big E and Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, all of the New Day are in the ring. They're all basically, I'll just read down because Mohegan Sun. Okay, now I know. Mohegan Sun. Thank you, CJ. Now I know where we are. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and read down Roy's great recap, great review. And Mike does a great review of recap of Raw also. But I want to go through what Big E, Xavier, and Kofi said in their promo to start this show. Because if you remember last week, after Kofi getting screwed in his gauntlet match and not making the WrestleMania match, Big E and Xavier Woods hopped on the Twitter the following day and kind of did some nice worky work. We might as well quit since this is the highest we're going to get talk. So Xavier Woods says if they can be serious for a minute, obviously the past few months have been emotional for them. Big E states that the fans have been with them for nearly 5 years, how they've performed all around the world for the WWE Universe, and they wanted to thank the fans. Big E says that he and Xavier spoke, and considering all the constant obstacles thrown in Kofi's way, they've discussed walking away. The thing that has been hard on them is watching how poorly Kofi has been treated, and it's not just recently, but for the past 11 years. 11 years. 11 years. E-L-E-D-E-N, 11 years. They know they have to make a decision, but they can't make that decision until they get some answers, so unfortunately the person who has those answers is Mr. McMahon. So Xavier Woods says that they, the New Day, are asking Mr. McMahon to come out and address them face-to-face to be able to talk about the issues that they have. And they have no problem waiting in the middle of the ring until he does. So enter Mr. McMahon. He takes the microphone. He says that, first of all, Kofi, but he's about to say something, but then he's interrupted by Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Daniel Bryan says, hold on. Tells Vince that if the New Day wants to quit, let him quit, because the New Day is nothing but a stale novelty act, one that you, Vince, created. If Vince wants to create another one, he'll just grab 3 people from NXT and call them Fresh Afternoon, and they'll be more popular than the New Day. And the reason for that is because Kofi Kingston is nothing more than a B-plus player. Daniel says Kofi lost last week, lost at Fastlane, lost at Elimination Chamber. Don't let Big E and Xavier Woods or the audience get in your head, Vince. Bryan says that Vince has been right about Kofi every step of the way, and his instincts are 100% correct. Says Vince is right, people are wrong. Just like Kofi Kingston, these people just won't accept reality. Xavier Woods says that the reality is that Bryan is afraid to face Kofi one-on-one. Xavier calls Bryan a hypocrite, and that's why you're out there. Vince, interrupting, says the New Day wants to quit. Nah, you're not going to quit. Vince says you're never going to quit. Everyone loves you all love what you have. Vince says that Kofi is still and always will be a B-plus player. The only question is if Big E and Xavier Woods are a B-plus tag team. Vince asks if they can put Kofi Kingston in the WWE title match at Mania. All they got to do is win a tag team gauntlet match that night. If they do that, Kofi Kingston is going to WrestleMania. Vince trolling the IWC Andrews says, whatever. I just like it when we get trolled. We'll just put it that way. Fresh afternoon. I kind of like that, though. Who would they bring up from NXT to call fresh afternoon? I have no idea. But we'll talk about people from NXT later on in the show after I binge-watched everything. Becky Lynch is backstage. She talks and stuff, and she asks what Charlotte Flair will bring to their match at WrestleMania. She's the third wheel and undeserving, Becky Lynch says. As she's speaking, Charlotte Flair's music hits, and out comes Charlotte Flair. Charlotte says, third wheel, undeserving. I'll show you how undeserving I am, because she is going against Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title. A WrestleMania-worthy match. A match that I thought was going to happen at WrestleMania. Yeah. So this is what we're getting. This is what we got right now. Charlotte Flair going for the SmackDown Women's title against Asuka, who narrowly escaped the milk carton again. Your SmackDown Women's Champion does not appear on the television show at least every other week. She's been showing up every 3 weeks. Okay. Here's my thing. Okay. And I'm going to have a little bit of Asuka talk right now. I don't understand why everyone is trying to defend Asuka. I don't understand why everyone is trying to defend her, saying that, hey, who's her WrestleMania opponent going to be? What's she gonna do? Asuka. Daniel saying Doug ain't ready for Asuka. I don't want Asuka. I've never been ready for Asuka. Even if I was ready, I've got plenty of time to prepare because she won't show up until the third week. So, we have Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title. And tapping to the figure 8 and your new SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. Take a sip of the sources. Let this one sink in. Andrew saying, I'm not defending, just wondering what was up with the switch. CJ, also that undefeated streak hurt her so bad. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Asuka. Okay. Having her, first off, there's nothing wrong with having someone undefeated and they lose. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens all the time with performers, or especially new performers, where they have an undefeated streak and they know they kind of tout it, and then they lose, and there you go. Look at Rusev when he debuted. Undefeated going into WrestleMania. Other ones, look at Matt Riddle right now in NXT. He was undefeated going into a big, massive 5-way match that happened last week. Bianca Belair, NXT. First loss was at a TakeOver pay-per-view. Undefeated streaks happen all the time. The problem is that when you have them go for so long and you make that become the only thing that you know about the performer, then it becomes a problem. I.e. Goldberg. Let's just go ahead and face facts. After the streak ended of Goldberg's, yeah, he stunk. He really, really stunk, okay? So, undefeated streaks have a shelf life, okay? They cannot be the crux of the performer. They can't be the crux of the character. Because if it goes for a long, long time and they finally lose, then what's the point of paying attention to the character? That's all we knew of the character. What else do we know of Asuka other than an undefeated streak? She's Japanese, and that's about it. Though I kind of like her entrance theme. Her masks are neat, even though she kind of wears the same mask every time she comes to the ring. Her dancing's kind of weird. But nothing else. Not a whole lot of anything else. Asuka's undefeated streak was not booked as badly as Goldberg's, okay? They didn't have a number of opponents streak going or anything like that. But it is really bad when you can't build a character beyond an undefeated streak. And you can go ahead and also put in other faults of hers in that, she has very bad broken English, but I'm not going to fault her with that. Okay, her promo delivery is not, that's not something that weighs on my mind. Asuka is, CJ put it, Asuka said, she's one-dimensional. Yeah, kinda. And also pointed out to me that they broke out that she had 400 some odd wins. Well, what? They kept saying that she has an undefeated streak. They kept saying she was undefeated. Look, this will lead me into showing a cryptic tweet during our news talk. In fact, I think I want to do that right now. If you guys want to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you something here that I thought I would save for the news segment. But since we're talking about this match, I thought I'd bring it up right now. So here, Asuka tweeted at 11 o'clock in the evening last night, over. What's that supposed to mean? I don't know. Really don't know. See if I can reload this here to see how often it's been retweeted. This tweet, since it came out at 11 o'clock last night, has been liked over 19,000 times, retweeted nearly 2,500 times, commented on well over 2,000 times, and we also have a reply from Shinsuke Nakamura, who replied 8 hours ago, which just says, still. Yeah, she's still over. Yeah. Lots of people tweeting out GIFs and stuff like that. Yeah. But here's mine. Pretty much summarizes what I'm wondering about Asuka right now. It's what I think of with Asuka. I look exactly like that. Okay, whenever she comes out. So, what are we to interpret from this? What are we to interpret from this incredibly ambiguous tweet that says over? Okay. I hear you trolls saying that she's going to Jacksonville or she's going to PWG confirmed. Well, my sources are telling me she's going to take a break. She's going to take a break. And I mean not just a break from WWE. She's going to take a break from wrestling in general. Okay. Much like Kenta or Hideo Itami, I'm sure she misses her home. She misses her family in Japan. Yeah. And what's more is she got as much of a work rate in the past 3 months with the WWE as Hideo Itami did. She has retired before. Andrew brought up she retired from Japanese wrestling, facing Meiko Satomura before signing on with the WWE. Take this for what you will, but what I am going to take from this is that she's going to take a break. Okay? Now, whether that means gone from the WWE for good, we don't know. Is that something that they would announce before WrestleMania? Absolutely not. I don't know. I don't really think that they would release her before WrestleMania, nor do I really think she's going to be released. She's just going to take a break, is all I really think is going to happen. And that's fine. Take a break. Take a long, long break. You know? Hell, if you want to make some appearances on NXT anytime you want, feel free to. You really should. It would be fabulous to have a cameo appearance of her, showing up and having a match against Shayna Baszler. Just showing up at a pay-per-view to go against Ronda Rousey. I mean, the options are out there. She doesn't need to be on television all the time, is what I'm saying. And she can be released from the WWE and then brought back, for a one-day only type thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Andrew, do you think that Mandy bump was a little bit more to it? Nah, I don't know about that. Frank in the chat room. Hey, Frank. Frank is saying Gail Kim is encouraging people calling Vince a racist because she's using her ethnicity as a means to an end. No. There's no racism to this at all. None at all. Gail Kim's just bitter because she sucked. Though Gail Kim was really cute. Stop being chauvinistic, Doug. Stop being chauvinistic. Gail Kim's just saying all of that junk because she's jealous and she didn't make enough money in the WWE and she squandered an opportunity. There you go. My 2 cents on Gail Kim. AJ Styles is backstage. He's talking about all kinds of happy things about the Kurt Angle match that he's about to have, and they have the match until Randy Orton shows up and does an RKO out of nowhere, and AJ Styles win by disqualification. Don't look at the replies to her tweet. Goodness. Yeah, Frank, I don't. I really. Yeah, don't scroll down. Again, don't scroll down. Just take tweets as they are. Don't look at the replies. Even though if you reply, I reply, okay? But I don't reply with words. When I reply to tweets and stuff, I don't normally type out words because I want to stand out. I want to stand out by showing GIFs like this instead. Okay? Man. So yeah, Randy Orton, RKO out of nowhere, disqualifying what I'm sure would have been a very nice little fantasy match between AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, but nope, we're not having that. The Miz comes out to the ring to say some horrible things about Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon's music hits. A flank of security walks down the ramp, but then a flank of SmackDown performers follows behind them. It is Shelton Benjamin, Primo Cologne, and Sanity. They're off the milk carton. Primo Cologne, finally off the milk carton. Been there since Survivor Series. Off the carton. Sanity, been on there for the past 5 or 6 weeks. No, actually, about 5 or 6 weeks. Gone from the milk carton because they got to save Shane McMahon from The Miz. This was kind of an awkward promo. Babyface Miz feels weird and has always felt weird to me. Okay? This is going to be kind of a rough patch for The Miz. Okay? This match, who are you supposed to root for? Yes, you're supposed to root for The Miz. But it's hard to root for him when he's a straight-up babyface. They've done babyface Miz before, and it just did not feel good. This one doesn't feel good either. But it'll be a lot better once I think this feud is over. And then we can have The Miz being that tweener that we would like him to be. Where he makes all the snide remarks that an Edge would make. But Edge was never a stone blown over babyface. Nor, he never crossed that line, is what I'm trying to say. Andrew, so we're getting Shane jumping from the WrestleMania side? Yeah, Shane's going to be jumping from something. This is also going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match, is what they're having at the Mania. So now it is legal for Shane to jump off the WrestleMania sign. Do you know how long they got to set that up? You got to make sure you have an X on the ground for Miz to stand on. Dear Lord. No, they won't. Who knows what the hell? That's how it's going to start off. Shane's just going to leap from a helicopter or something like that. Yeah, that's what we're going to have. All right. Tag team gauntlet match to get Kofi to Mania. I had a lot of thoughts about this one. This one, I actually legitimately thought in my mind that Luke Harper was going to return. I thought Harper was going to return, team alongside Rowan to be the final team in this. It sounded really, really good. Frank in the chat room, when long-lasting heels don't change their gimmick like Edge and Orton to where fans just naturally cheer them down the line, I think Miz is teetering on that edge. Yeah, no, that's right. Miz is teetering on that edge like Edge and Orton. Where he can say the snide remarks, but yet still be cheered. I mean, he was cheered more as a heel and everything, but it was dependent upon who he was berating. Berating Roman Reigns, berating John Cena, all of them. Berating Enzo, okay, stuff like that. Andrew saying SmackDown was milk carton night. Absolutely. Y2E Ped. Howdy. Why is KO all of a sudden off the card? He's not off the card yet. He's not off any card. In fact, Kevin Owens made an appearance on this show as he was part of a group of people backstage watching this tag team gauntlet match, much like how last week's gauntlet match was going on, where the crowd got bigger and bigger as Kofi won. This crowd got bigger and bigger. Apparently, the Hardy Boys didn't want anything of this gauntlet match, so they like watching TV. They like us watching TV of them watching TV. Big E and Xavier Woods are starting off the gauntlet match against Gallows and Anderson. Where the hell did they come from? They're off the carton. We found them. Apparently, they didn't like the idea of performing with a multi-million-dollar contract for few years. No, we would just like to appear every 2 months for $1.50 and a hot dog. I don't know. I thought Gallows and Anderson was leaving the WWE too, Jamel. What the hell? But we're starting off the gauntlet match with Gallows and Anderson. Yeah. Hey, Billy. Hi there, Billy, in the chat room. How you doing there? Yeah, Kevin Owens is another guy joining the Miz on the ledge, says Frank. Yeah, there are a lot of these tweeners that are on this right now, but right now, gauntlet match, Gallows and Anderson eliminated. Next up against Big E and Xavier Woods, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev with Lana in tow. Hey, Grash. They were, again, Shinsuke and Rusev, 1 week away from making the carton. They miss it, all for this gauntlet match. And this wasn't bad at all. Seeing these two team up is really fun. Have you guys been having fun on the Twitter and Facebooks and everything, reading how Shinsuke Nakamura is once again not happy with his status with the WWE? You've been enjoying yourselves reading that? I know I have been. My sources tell me otherwise. He kind of likes what he's doing. I want to leave it up to you guys in the chat room and also you listeners. As a profession, this is a serious question I'd like to ask you guys. You have a position. You have a job. You have a career. Okay? You are making, let's just say, and I want to be realistic here, a number that all of us would love to make on an annual salary. $75,000. I'll even go low, $50,000. We have a professional career that pays us $50,000 for a year, for 1 calendar year. Beginning of this calendar year, we came to work every day. We did our job, did it effectively. Efficiently, maybe, But we were a key integral part in this organization that we were part of that paid us a salary of at least $50,000 a year for the first 6 months. Boss comes up to us and tells us For the rest of the year, you don't need to come into the office that much. Okay? We can still get the job done, but you don't need to come in that much. Maybe if you could show up, every other week. Maybe show up on a weekend. Show up on a weekend. But also, we still need you to do the usual stuff behind the scenes, like house shows. We still need you to do that stuff. But you can have Tuesdays off. The big Sundays, you don't have to worry about that. You can take Sunday off. How would you like that? We'll give you 2 extra days off during the week, and your pay will be the same. We're still going to keep you on. You're still an integral part of our organization and this business. But you don't need to come in as much. You're still valued, but just not on the major projects that we do. Would you be angry? Would you be upset that boss comes over and tells you that your work is appreciated, but you don't need to come in on the important days? You still need to come in, but not on the really important days. Would you be angry, even though you're still getting paid? I'll tell you one thing right now. If I was given that schedule, after putting in the time and the effort, and they tell me I can take some time off, there ain't no way in hell I'm angry. Hell no. I'll see ya. You guys have fun on Tuesday. You guys have fun on Tuesdays and Sundays. I'm going to go have a margarita. Okay? I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go home and see my friends and family that are all the way across the globe that I haven't seen in so long. You'd be cautious, but you'd appreciate it, says CJ. Jamel says, but I want to win a belt. I hear you, troll. It's something that I think everyone strives for. This is a schedule that everyone wants. It's a pro wrestler's wet dream to have this schedule. If you are angry or upset from this, no, that doesn't even cross his mind. He's not upset at all. The only people that are upset are the people that think he's upset because they want to see him on TV. Why do they want to see him on TV? Doing what? Who knows? They don't know. They haven't even booked Shinsuke Nakamura to do anything at all. They're just jealous. Gil saying your work is appreciated, but you're not allowed to get over in Rusev's case. Come on. That, Jamel, that's the main reason why dudes left WWF in the 90s for WCW. More money, less travel. Yes, that's why. The problem with that argument, though, was that also it was more money, less travel, but they were still put in higher regards and still booked strong to be strong, And I think that's why a lot of people are upset with this, in that Shinsuke Nakamura is not built strong, that he is not a prominent main eventer. Well, my God, this sounds like something you should have been worried about when he was called up from NXT. And it sounds like something that some people with a moderate amount of logic, deductive reasoning, and sources would have predicted when it happened. There are guys that really love the positions that they're in within professional wrestling. Okay, I'll give you one really good example. And a lot of people that love the positions that they are in pro wrestling, especially in the WWE. Performers that love the position that they're in the WWE, that the internet peoples don't understand why they are happy. I will give you a shining example of that right now. Well, here, let's fly through the gauntlet match real quick here. Yes, Rusev and Shinsuke of Nakamura were eliminated. Out comes Sheamus and Cesaro of the Bar. They beat them too. Then out come the Usos. The Usos forfeit because they respect Kofi. And then out comes Daniel Bryan and Rowan. I thought it was going to be Harper and Rowan for a second, but oh well, that's okay. And Big E and Xavier Woods win that one too. So there you go. It's all because Rowan got counted out and couldn't get back into the ring. Kofi gets in and celebrates. Vince McMahon is interviewed before taking off in his limo, basically saying that Kofi Kingston's going to WrestleMania, but the question is, can a B-plus player defeat Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship? Enjoy the rest of the night. So, anyway, back to a WWE performer that loves his position, but everyone on the internet is critiquing and doesn't understand why they love that position. You know who's the number one culprit of this? The number one shining example? Braun Strowman. That's Braun Strowman to a T. Okay. Every WrestleMania, for the past 3 WrestleManias, what has he been doing? Just having a fun match. He's appearing every week on the TV shows, doing things. There's no stress on him to look strong or do something or make someone else look strong or anything. No, he's done it all. Okay? Everyone having a cow, and myself, I was part of it, but then I took some pills and got off that wagon. Okay? I got off that wagon because Braun Strowman loves where he is right now. Okay? Just having fun. He knows his time's going to come. Okay? Could they have pulled the trigger with Strowman a long time ago? Sure. Can they do it later? Absolutely. So, there are a lot of people in the WWE that love the roles that they're in and the positions that they're in that the internet and others just don't understand and try to spin a narrative into thinking that these performers and talents are actually angry. Trying to make drama out of a televised drama, as if the televised drama isn't enough drama and is not entertaining enough drama. So you know what? We are going to book our own drama. This is the land of Dark Overlord Dave Meltzer and Dirt Sheets. And there's some really bad ones out there. What did everyone think of SmackDown Live? I thought it was a really good show. Okay. Not just with the title reversal that we did not see coming, but a fun gauntlet match. Seeing people that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. What did I think? I thought it was a good show. What did everyone else think? What did everyone else think? 85% gave it a thumbs up. Just like clockwork. The blue show is happy times. Red show, ugh. It isn't that typical. Mondays, gloom, cloudy skies, a little drizzle. It's chilly outside. Ugh. But then Tuesdays, the clouds break open. Sun is shining to let you know that the Mondays are done. You don't have to worry about that horrid day of the week. Red show, yes, Andrew is full of confusion. Blue show is full of, I understand. I understand. Sock McFoley in the face. All right. That was the red show and the blue show. Crack open another thing of sources. Get those into the hopper because it's time for some news. I'm trying to get my screen up. Where is my screen? Oh, there's my screen. Hi, how are you? Hi. Oh, look at a cute doggy. That doggy is Pharaoh. That is Cody Rhodes' doggy, Pharaoh, who is apparently a on-air talent with Jacksonville's AEW. Why is Pharaoh on my screen? Well, it's because AEW touted that they signed up a former Impact star and Knockouts champion. That would be Allie, also known as Dark Alley or Cherry Bomb. Her real name is Laura Dennis, but she signed up a contract with AEW after her contract with Impact expired last year, at the end of last year. So, yay, good on them. Jim Ross also confirming with ESPN's Outside the Lines that he is in talks with Jacksonville's AEW. Wrestleview reported earlier in the month that Ross himself had stated during an edition of the Jim Ross Report that he would be parting ways with the WWE at the end of that month after his current contract expired. He also did note that in the podcast he wanted to stay busy and on the road, adding he doesn't think he will be out of work long. When asked on last Thursday's interview on Outside the Lines if he is headed to AEW, Ross stated that he hasn't signed anything yet and that, quote, his people and their people are doing their thing. So, yeah. AEW is going to be where... Is it going to be the new TNA? I really hope not. I'm trying to be as optimistic with AEW as I can. If Jim Ross really wanted to stay busy, do your work with your University of Oklahoma. You know, you love being on the sidelines for their football games. Join their scouting team, you know, and you know a hell of a lot of wrestling. Help them build up the wrestling program, you know. Don't necessarily need to go back into pro wrestling, but if he wants to do that, that's fine. Let him do what he wants. You know, let everyone else go. Follow him. Hey, look, it's a light bulb head. Neville Pack. He could not appear over at WrestleCon this coming month because he issued in a statement last Saturday on the Twitter that he had issues obtaining a visa and therefore wouldn't make his scheduled appearance over the next month in New York City during the WrestleMania 35 weekend. Yeah. WrestleCon noted their attorneys were confident there would not be any issues with Pac obtaining a work visa and therefore advertised Pac on the assumption there would not be a problem getting a travel visa. Well, nope. No one didn't know a damn thing. Pac didn't get his travel visa. Note to your bookers, if you are booking international talent, do not book them until their visa is taken care of. Last Wednesday, WWE announced that their global headquarters would be relocating to a brand new building in Stamford, Connecticut. They announced this last week. A press release by the company noted that the new office located on 677 Washington Boulevard in Stamford, Connecticut, take that down, will allow the company to bring together operations, including both production studios and corporate offices, into the new site. The current building, known as Titan Towers, first opened in 1981. Titan Sports, the former WWF, acquired it in 1985. So, brand new shiny building for WWE headquarters. I'm glad that we are showing the building that's got the $9.99 flag for the WWE Network right there. Great job on the picture, guys. Fantastic job. I highly encourage you, since you are a professional wrestling fan, and you have a WWE Network subscription, as do I, as I have been taking a part in it for the past 8 hours of the day. There is a fantastic, fantastic thing they are going to be showing. They showed on there. It's on their YouTube channel, but they are also going to be putting it on the WWE Network. It's a making of the WWE thing on ring creator Mark Carpenter. Mark Carpenter. Sources. They talk about how they constructed all these rings, including the heated ring for when they had WrestleMania in New York, the last go around for WrestleMania. It's really, really interesting stuff. I really enjoyed. You remember when the Elimination Chamber happened about last month, Yeah, in February. No, January. Yeah, February. I think it was the Friday or Saturday before Elimination Chamber. On WWE's Facebook page, they live streamed the construction of the Elimination Chamber. I will admit that while I was doing some office work, I had it on to the side in a separate monitor. Because engineering stuff like that to me just fascinates me. Okay, how they do that. Jamel Watson saying it's going the Black U weather forecast. It go rain. I looked up. I think it was going to be a high of 52, but the lows are going to be in the upper 30s, lower 40s. It is scheduled to rain. So Mike and Victoria Tedesco, who do our Monday Night Raw recap shows, who will be going to NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania, bring a poncho. You're going to need it. I believe there's going to be some rain. Probably some drizzling, but not heavy rain. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon donated $1 million last week to Children's Hospital. It was the UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh last Thursday. It was made to help create a family-centered MIBG therapy suite for the families of children battling cancer. It was described as the only one of its kind. Awesome on them. Awesome on them. I love seeing stories like that. Love seeing stories like that. Guess Victoria didn't want to catch anything, says Jamel. That's why they aren't going to Madison Square Garden for the Ring of Honor show. Yes, CJ saying a 63% chance of rain. Well, that'll change. It's 2 weeks away. High of 57, low of 47. Yeah, 48. Yeah, that'll change. We got 2 weeks to go before the weather changes for that. A big name appeared. No, it's not Sting. A big name appeared at the WWE Performance Center. It was The Undertaker and Michelle McCool. They were both at the Performance Center last week. Also visiting as a guest coach later this month is Santino Marella. So, Undertaker taking his 50 grand bookings, but he'll also make little casual appearances at places where the kids are learning how to wrestle. Jamel saying if it rains, that means God was not pleased with this year's WrestleMania. Well, God is the best fantasy booker of all of them. Okay, I mean, he's got a hell of a roster to work with. There's a report saying the WWE is going to be bringing in Hulk Hogan and a former quote-unquote top star for the WrestleMania 35 weekend, and that former top star is Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who we saw over at All In last year over in Chicago. And Mike Johnson is reporting this from PW Insider, so take that for what you will. If anything, I can imagine them making an appearance at the Hall of Fame ceremony, where they may talk more about, and I'm just getting it from the shirt here of Hulk Hogan, they may talk more about Mean Gene Okerlund, you know? They may talk about who all has passed from their era, you know? Hall of Fame weekend is what I'm anticipating. I do not see them on WrestleMania itself at all. Yeah. That's just what I'm gathering from it, you know. WrestleMania 35 main event is official. It is the three women, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair, are going to be main eventing WrestleMania. That made official Monday before Raw aired. But also what was made official over the Twitter and from a spoiling of an episode of Total Bellas is that Nikki Bella has announced her retirement from the WWE. Everyone sigh, hang your heads, offer your thoughts and prayers. Okay, enough of that silence. Okay, so, all right. Let us assess Nikki Bella's career real quick. Eye candy from the beginning, hooked up with John Cena, learned how to wrestle, ended up being pretty good in the ring. Promos, that's a different story. Hall of Fame, give her 7 years. Don't want it to be immediate. You cannot have it immediate. I wouldn't have it be immediate. In all seriousness, says Jamel, the Bellas, especially Nikki, did not get enough credit for their improvements as well. Yes. No, they deserve a lot of credit for all the improving that they've done. Okay? They could have easily. No, they took up modeling careers and sponsorships for a while after, I think it was they were with the WWE for 3 or 4 years. They stunk. They took a break for about 6 months or 9 months, then came back and actually gave a damn and actually started working. And were actually kind of told, I think, hey, if you two kind of do good in the ring, we've got a contract with E! Network coming up about a reality show about female wrestlers, and maybe you would like to be part of it. But you've got to do something. There you go. Incentive. There you go. So I've got nothing against them. I think they were a fun act. They were a fun act. Brie Bella's music was atrocious. Both of them on a promo, not so good. But, it was a fun act. It was good while it lasted. Hey, so we really could not believe at all that Gallows and Anderson were offered a multi-million-dollar contract and they turned it down. Okay? But can you believe that Becky Lynch was reportedly offered a new multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract with the WWE? Well, a report from Pro Wrestling Sheet, Becky Lynch has been recently offered a new multi-year contract with the WWE this month that includes a raise. Lynch is expected to sign the new deal very soon, per the new report. This news comes the same day we reported that Ronda Rousey will defend against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch at the main event over WrestleMania 2 Sundays from now. So, I can totally believe that this woman is getting paid and paid handsomely. Not 2 old white guys who did shit in Japan. It's about what you're doing now. It's all about what you're doing now. It's called an NFL mentality. Though it's not necessarily, well, it is guaranteed money, unlike the other places. Appearing on the ESPN on Tuesday this week was the Roman Reigns, the Becky Lynch, the Ronda Rousey, and the Charlotte Flair. I did not watch any of these interviews because I don't watch ESPN that much, because all it is this. Talk, not sports. And finally, on the news site, on the news end of the show, we've got new matches are announced for NXT TakeOver 2 Fridays from now. Right now, we've got 4 matches lined up for this card. I'm pretty sure we're going to have 1 or 2 thrown in there for good measure. But we've got the NXT title that is up for grabs. It's been relinquished by Tomato Chomper after his successful neck surgery. He's going to be out for about a year. He's not going to be back for a while. Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole-Bebe will be facing each other for the newly relinquished NXT title in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. The NXT North American title, where Velveteen Dream will be defending that against Matt Riddle. NXT Women's title is a fatal 4-way with Shayna Baszler defending against a couple of Japanese chicks in Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, and Bianca Belair, who I am a humongous fan of right now. And finally, the match this is the match I can't wait for. All of WrestleMania weekend, this is the match. Watch on the Friday watch-along alongside me. I will try not to drop my trowel. Okay? I will be so happy. Pete Dunne defending the WWE UK title against Walter, my Lord and Savior. While everyone else is having a cow and just loving Ricochet and Aleister Black and all those others. No, it's fucking Walter. God. I caught a couple of I wanted to watch a couple of his matches from NXT UK to kind of build up with this. His entrance is so fucking basic and phenomenal. Okay? Yes, it's the Dvorak Concerto. They don't have to pay any rights to it. It's just beautiful music. And all it is, pure white screen behind him, his silhouette, and he just walks to the ring, and the ring lights dimly light back up to show the ring. It is basic. It is so great. Okay? Walter is going to make this show. Okay? He is a treasure, and he should stay in the UK. He should not come to the States. He should not come to NXT. He should not come to the main roster, though I would love for him to be in the main roster. I would love it, love it, love it. As a fan, I would love it. No. Keep him in the UK. Keep him in Europe. Build up this brand around him and Pete Dunne and the Coffees. And they've got talent at NXT UK. Okay? And CJ, don't tease me with a Walter Braun Strowman match. No. I don't want that. No. I want Walter Mustafa Ali. I want Walter against all of 205 Live. I want Walter versus all of those others. I want just chops to the chest, imprints of his hand. But Walter versus Braun Strowman, I don't think would be a fun match. I really don't. But again, that's the match I'm looking forward to the most, is Pete Dunne and Walter. Walter. V-A-L-T-E-R. Walter. Good stuff. All right. News on the injury front. There's one guy who's been injured for a very long time. Okay? He's due to come back around the WrestleMania times. They showed blurbs of him on Monday Night Raw back in January that he would be returning for only 1 or 2 weeks. And then you never saw the blurbs again. So, where is he? Is he okay? Do we still care? Is Sami Zayn returning? What's going on? Well, over the weekend, he was over in London. Here he is over at London town. This was a picture taken on the 23rd, on Saturday. Saturday the 23rd. Yep, just having a good old time over there in London town. Then here he is on yesterday over at Newcastle. He's just chilling out over at the UK. So, what are we to make of this? Could he be returning but not to the main roster? Could he just be going to NXT UK? I don't know. I mean, it makes one wonder. It really does make one wonder. What would your thoughts be if Sami Zayn went to NXT UK instead of coming back to the main roster? I'll tell you right now, mine, no problem at all. I got no problem with it. Here's the thing about the Sami Zayn character. The Sami Zayn character, all it really is what do you remember of Sami Zayn right now? What do you know of Sami Zayn? Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind about him? Okay, And if he were to appear on your TV on Monday Night Raw, what's the first thing you remember? I remember him trying to start a feud with Lashley and bringing out his sisters. I remember Braun Strowman beating the shit out of him. Jason brought it up in the chat room. Hey, Jason. Right now, if Sami Zayn were to come back to the WWE main roster, what would us, the fantasy bookers, the wrestling fans, what would we have him do? We take a sip of the sources. We refill the sources. And I will just say, whatever I have him do, it's Kevin Owens related. It's Kevin Owens related. The two of them are a team. And anything that they ever do, the two of them, will always be as a team. They could, have tag team matches of sorts. They could have singles matches of sorts. Maybe titles here and there. But it would be anything involving Kevin Owens. Jason saying it best. He is a solid B-plus player. Would he be better in NXT UK? Well, think about it. Think about it. Would he be a more integral character, not performer, character, in NXT UK than on the main roster? I think there's a lot more for him in NXT UK than there is on the main roster. Main roster, he can easily get lost in the shuffle. He would appear on my milk carton about as much of a basis as anybody else. But if he were to go to NXT UK, where lighter travel, TV shows are pre-recorded 3 or 4 times out of there, I got to tell you, that's the life for him. If he was offered a deal with NXT UK, he would jump on it immediately. I didn't get my snap on there. There we go. Jump on it immediately. Is that what my sources are saying? I'm not confirming anything. It's just kind of interesting that we really haven't heard a lot about Sami, and then just this past weekend he's posted pictures about all the fun he's having over there in the UK. Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Hey, it's news. Breaking news. So, on the injury front, Jason Jordan still has a bum neck. We don't know what's happening with him. We haven't heard anything. He's backstage, but we don't know what's going on. Sami Zayn, torn rotator cuffs on both shoulders. Supposed to be back for WrestleMania times. Fandango is another one I got to investigate. Where the hell is he? He was supposed to have been back around February. Hasn't shown up since his torn labrum injury. Tyler Breeze has been doing little appearances here and there with like comic book conventions, video game conventions, doing stuff alongside Xavier Woods. Don't know what's going on there. Akam, knee surgery, cleanup surgery on his knee. He'll be out until May. Ember Moon had emergency elbow surgery after the Royal Rumble. Haven't seen her since or heard words since. Tomato Chomper, neck injury, neck surgery. He's going to be out, I'm thinking, for an entire year. We're not going to see him probably now until the takeover for Royal Rumble of next year. John Cena, I know it's a work. Ankle injury. He's going to make a cameo appearance at WrestleMania. That's what I'm saying. Jamel saying that's why they sent Ono to NXT UK. That exactly. Jason, well, it's the UK, not Jacksonville, so that kills these rumors. Yes. It's because some intrepid reporters like to consult sources and do some investigating. Investigating in that you just look up their motherfucking Twitter account. So those are the people that are injured. But as always, what about the people who aren't injured? What about the people who are perfectly healthy? The performers and talents that don't have any torn things or broken bones? What about the performers and talents who haven't been on TV for the past 3 weeks? Where have they been? Where are they? I don't know. Maybe they went to get their hair cut. Because I have to look sexy for my chat room. You're so cute for noticing, Jamel. Thank you so much. Hey, King Taco! How are you doing? You better subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Howdy. Hey, all those people that are not hurt, that are perfectly healthy, have not been on TV for 3 weeks. Where the hell are they? Well, if they aren't on TV, they are on the WWE milk carton.
Hi, I'm a milk curtain. I'm just walking down the road. There are a lot of people on my back. I don't know where they are.
Hi. All right. Returning champions. The Ascension. Good old boys, the Ascension. So much we could talk about for the past year with them. Oh, boy. Hard to get matches with all these gauntlets, Doug. I know, man. I know it. The Ascension. We have not seen them since their gauntlet match against Heavy Machinery back on March the 4th. So, yeah, haven't seen them. And there's going to be a lot of people on this milk carton that were part of that same gauntlet match. King Taco, well, no, you don't, King. You're fine. B-Team. Bo Dallas. Curtis Axel. Where have they been? Well, they haven't been anywhere. They made fun of Heavy Machinery, and now we haven't seen them for 3 weeks. What about Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder? Well, we haven't seen them since the gauntlet match either. So apparently everyone who made fun of Heavy Machinery 3 weeks ago has now fallen into the abyss. Never to be seen again. Into the void. Never to be heard from again. Not unless they want to have a match against Aleister Black and Ricochet so we can prop them up some more. Jamel saying, what about Heavy Machinery? No. As you may recall, a lot of people showed up on SmackDown to watch TV with Kofi Kingston to see how the New Day was doing. I can tell you who those people were right now that were backstage watching TV with Kofi Kingston. Would you like some names? All right, here we go. Becky Lynch, Carmella, R-Truth, Jeff and Matt Hardy, Kevin Owens, Mustafa Ali, Naomi, Nikki Cross, Otis, and Tucker. I think The Miz was back there also. Yes, he was. And Ricochet and Aleister Black were back there as well. A lot of people were watching TV with Kofi. And they also came out to the ring to celebrate with the New Day. That doesn't matter. They weren't in a match or a real segment. They were given kind of an adequate amount of upfront in-face camera time, Jason. Ric Flair's birthday? Johnny Gargano was a part of Ric Flair's birthday. He was. He's part of it. Yeah. But I'm talking about close-up camera shots, okay? Shots of the entire roster standing on a ramp and clapping, no, that doesn't count. No. Up-close camera shots where it's only maybe a group of 10 or 12 and we can make out who's all in, I count that. I'll count that. That's look, you come up with your own show, your own segment, and you make up your own rules for the milk carton, okay? And then I'll go ahead and yell at you for taking after me. Much like other entities that have copied this segment that I've been doing for 8 years. Titus O'Neil has not been on television. Titus, when was the last time, Titus, you were on television? Oh, you were backstage on that same March the 4th show saying hi to somebody. Or I think you said hi to the Saturday Night Live guys is what you did. But you know what? Titus O'Neil is too busy saving our country, giving free education to children, building affordable housing for communities in Florida. I'm going to throw him a bone. Titus, you can show up anytime on the milk carton. I will not judge you at all. Okay? It would be great if you were a champion to go alongside all the great you do in your communities, but man, that's okay. For him to be a goodwill ambassador, I mean, you know. Johnny Gargano appeared for Ric Flair's birthday, gave him a hug. Why? I don't know. I don't even think Ric Flair knows who the fuck this guy is. But Johnny Gargano is on here because he's on the main roster. He's on WWE's main roster page. So, what's fair is fair. He hasn't been on TV since February the 25th. Though he's on NXT television, he's going to be at NXT TakeOver. What am I going to do? Do I take him off the milk carton even though he's on the main roster? What do I do? Do I just keep him here? I think I should keep him here. I think I am. But it's not one to really wonder about, you know? So Johnny Gargano, you've got a home, okay? And also he's from Cleveland, so I can't really be too angry at him. Lucha House Party. We have not seen them since February the 18th when they had a match against Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. That was fun. Time to ship them back to 205 Live. They serve no purpose at all right now, and I don't think you can reinsert them after WrestleMania. We are not going to hear anything about these guys for a very long time. Yeah, they're going to go. They went back to 205, Andrew says. Okay. I'll have to do some further investigating, but we'll see. They may get off the milk carton just because they are never coming back to the main roster. Alicia Fox. So I did some investigating on Alicia Fox. First off, we have not seen her since February the 4th's episode of Monday Night Raw, where all the women were qualifying for the Elimination Chamber tag team title match, where she teamed up with Nikki Cross to face Sasha Banks and Bayley. So I did some investigating on Alicia Fox. What is going on with her? There are some people on Twitter asking her, wishing her well. Her last tweet was way back in January. But if you go on her Instagram, there are lots of delectable pictures of her in swimsuits with her new musician boyfriend. Her mind is somewhere else right now. I'm not sure we're going to be seeing her for a while. I really don't like making assumptions like this. I don't like making accusations about what people do in their spare time or how it affects them professionally. But all I really can say is that she's doing other things that are not wrestling affiliated. So yeah. Andrew sending a link to a 6-man tag of Lucha House Party from 205 Live. Okay, so they appeared on 205 Live. They're still on the main roster page. So? Sorry. She on the comedy circuit with Ziggler, says Jason? No, she's nowhere near a comedy club with Dolph Ziggler. No, she is not. Not Akam in this picture, but Razar. Razar has not been on television since February the 4th when he confronted Apollo Crews about his feelings about Kurt Angle. This is also alongside Drake Maverick. We have not seen these guys since February the 4th. It's all contingent on the cleanup knee surgery of Akam, where he will not be returning until May or June. So right now, God, I love AOP, but for the love of God, this is going to cause a lot of discussion that I really don't want to get into right now, and it'll make me really angry because it was something I really, really liked. But that's okay. Discussion for later. Mickie James. We haven't seen her since she gave Kurt Angle a hug backstage on February the 4th. Your guess is as good as mine on this one. Is she ever really going to be back on Monday Night Raw? I don't know. Where's Drake? He's being the boss on 205 Live. Yeah, that's where Drake Maverick is. Mickie James, though. What is she doing? Are we going to see Mickie James before WrestleMania? Probably not. Andrew saying she could be a trainer, she could be a coach, she could be anything, but the only thing we know is that she's not on TV. So, I don't know. Got a part-time deal? That's fine. That means she's going to be on the milk carton for a while. Dolph Ziggler is too busy being a really horrible stand-up comedian. Look, I've done stand-up comedy. I would love to do stand-up comedy again. It's really difficult to do. It really is. It takes, but of all the things that make stand-up comedy hard to do, horrible bad. What makes stand-up comedy hard to do is it's not as much the stage fright. For fuck's sake, Dolph Ziggler has performed in front of 10,000 people, 40,000, 70,000 people. Stage fright is not a problem. Gauging the audience, that's the problem. Before you ever do a stand-up act, you have to gauge your audience. Gauging the audience, how old is everybody? What's the dominant gender? How many different ethnic groups am I seeing out there? What jokes can I go into and not go into? When I get up on stage and I go into my bit, if I don't hear enough chuckles, am I going to have to divert into another bit? You've got to adjust on the fly. At the same time, knowing who your crowd is. This is what professional wrestlers do. You gauge your crowd. You know how many are in the crowd. You know how old they are. You've done all of this research. You know what they're going to be into. If they aren't wowed by one move, then you scratch all of that and you go to your next spot. There are a lot of similarities between professional wrestling and stand-up comedy. I like to think that I'm decent in stand-up comedy, okay? Does that mean that I would be good in professional wrestling? Absolutely fucking not. Just as if you're a professional wrestler, do you think you would be good at stand-up comedy? You should know damn well, no, you're not. Ask Mick Foley. Well, actually, Mick Foley won't really tell you anything. I've seen Mick Foley's stand-up act live. He did a tour over here in Charlotte. He sucks. He just tells stories. And the only way that you would really know what his stories are about is if you're a professional wrestling fan. He didn't gauge a crowd at all. The only reason everyone was in the crowd was that they brought action figures for him to sign. It wasn't a stand-up act. It was a speech. That's all it was. It was like I went to some guy talking about his life. That's all it was. There were no jokes. How long will it take? Will Dolph Ziggler come back? Well, we'll see. I don't know. Tyler Breeze. Haven't seen him since New Year's Eve. Battle Royale. To determine who would be facing Dean Ambrose, then the United States champion on Raw. He's having fun doing comic book conventions and video game stuff with Xavier Woods. Nothing wrong with that. No problem. Nothing wrong with that. I really don't know what'll be going on with him until Fandango comes back. Do they put back together the Fashion Police or Breezango? I don't know. But he's got a good gig going on. Primo Cologne, you're okay. You're okay. Epico Cologne is not the one. Epico Cologne we have not seen since Survivor Series. However, the stalwart, the president, the guy that's been on this milk carton for a very, very long time, it's Bray Wyatt. We have not seen him since SummerSlam of last year. There's a lot of stuff going on with his personal life, with his appearance, that I don't really think is important. You know? We kind of know now why he hasn't been around. That's true, Jason. No, we'll just go ahead and say it because you're probably listening to the audio version of this. Earlier today, JoJo Offerman posted pictures today that she is with a baby. She is very pregnant. On the beach with sexy pictures of her pregnant belly. And also pictures of Bray Wyatt with a new haircut. Stuff is changing. Life happens, people. It's now time to stop predicting when Bray Wyatt's going to be coming back. Let's just let all of this just ride its course. Okay? Let's stop. There are some things that we should not fantasy book. I'm done fantasy booking this guy. I really, really am. The last thing that I can think of is him appearing at the Monday Night Raw or SmackDown following WrestleMania. After that, all I will ever know of him is him being on this milk carton until he's released. So, there you go. So, that's going to do it for the WWE milk carton. I did predict it, Gills. I know I predicted it. Yes, I predicted it. I think I locked it. Whatever. I do it all the time. It's my gimmick. Can't help it. So, that's the WWE milk carton. I undertook a major project today. I went to my local grocery store. I purchased 3 bags of Doritos, nacho cheese flavored. Just the nacho cheese. I'm not a fan of Cool Ranch. If they had Taco Supreme, I would have just swam in that. But no, I got nacho cheese Doritos, 3 bags of them because they had a big honking sale on them where it was like, I think it was 3 for $8. So yeah, I got those. I got a 12-pack of Mountain Dew Baja Blast because that is the best Mountain Dew to drink. Okay, not the regular yellow shit because that shrinks your pee-pee. I had a 12-pack of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And so I sat down, and if you saw the picture on the Twitter and the Facebook, I was folding laundry and doing stuff around the apartment while watching 7 hours of NXT. So, without further ado, here are my takes, my quick talks about NXT right now. No, not the milk carton. We're doing the NXT. Okay. There's too many NXT logos here. So I undertook 7 weeks of binge watching. 7 weeks worth of episodes binge watching NXT. It started off at the February the 6th episode, I believe it is. February 6th episode of NXT, all going up to March the 20th. Okay, so 7 episodes of NXT. What did I gather from all of this? All right. I want to talk about some talents, some performers on this, but also some matches that you should really check out within the 7-week span. And most of it happens on one episode of NXT. And I highly encourage you to check it out. It was very, very entertaining. Okay. So I'm just going to go through my slideshow. Shayna Baszler versus Mia Yim from the February 27th episode of NXT TV. This is the episode of NXT you should really check out, is the February 27th episode, because it is a fascinating episode because of two matches that are on it. This being one of them. Baszler versus Mia Yim. First off, I'm on the Twitter. Mia Yim is kind of vocal thing on the Twitter. She always pokes fun at Shelton Benjamin, and Shelton Benjamin pokes fun at her. But Mia Yim was kind of an indie darling. Everyone got a humongous boner from her being signed on with the WWE. And so I'm kind of like, what are we to expect here? Her entrance, she comes out with kind of this Southern California type, gangsta type music and everything. She wears a little bandana face mask over her face and everything, so she's kind of gangsta-like and everything. So that's the look that she has. She's got all these different pocketed carpenter pants that she's wearing that she goes to the ring. This match that she had with Shayna Baszler culminated from some backstage brouhahas where Baszler and her happy-go-lucky friends Jasmine Duke and Marina Shafir tried barging into the women's locker room, and Mia Yim and her friends just aren't having any of it, so they have a match. This, if you are, I hope Adam Martin is listening to this episode right now, and if he isn't right now, he'll be listening to it over the on demand. If you are a fan of UFC MMA strategic stuff, and I kind of say that from a casual professional wrestling fan's point of view, you'll love this match. The limb work of Shayna Baszler working over Mia Yim's leg, that's typical. But Mia Yim working over Shayna Baszler's wrist, and Shayna Baszler's entire offense and her finisher is basically like a chokehold, like a rear naked chokehold. But she cannot get the grip with her hand. And so when she tries to grip with her hand, Mia Yim will grab that same hand, the particular hand. How many times have we watched wrestling and a performer completely forget which hand or which knee or which foot is injured? Not this one. There was no confusion. Even from behind her back, Mia Yim grabbed the correct hand that had been worked on throughout the entire match to prevent Baszler from putting in her chokehold. Eventually, Baszler would get the chokehold in and Mia Yim would tap out. This was a really fun chess match to watch. It was really interesting, okay? Not as much chanting from the crowd or anything like that, but February the 27th episode of NXT. Check out this match. It was a really, really interesting match. Is Shayna Baszler any good? She is the best performer on that women's roster. Period. Everyone else, aside from maybe Mia Yim, everyone else is just... ugh. Well, maybe one other that I will talk about, that I have some faith in. But everyone else, ugh. And I'm talking Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, even some others that I'll get to in a little bit. Another match that you must check out, because I believe they had their rematch tonight on tonight's episode of NXT, is Keith Lee versus Dominik Dijakovic. This match was fantastic. two big guys. Dijakovic, a 6'7", 280-something pound guy. Keith Lee, 6'3", just as tall as me, 325 pounds, big bowling ball of fun. This was a fun double count-out match. Oh, they're so good. And that shot, this camera shot right here, was the best part of the entire match. Where Keith Lee extended his hand out for a handshake after they exchanged athleticism. Dijakovic pushing him in. No, I'm not having any of that. Keith Lee pushes Dominic up onto his shoulders like he's going to do a power bomb. Dominic adjusts himself into a monkey flip position. Monkey flips Keith Lee. Keith Lee lands on his feet, and this is the shot we get. Dijakovic staring straight ahead. In the background is Keith Lee. This was a piece of camera placement glory. These guys know this. They know camera placement. They know facial expressions. They know emoting. They know the nonverbal cues. They know everything. This was fantastic to watch. From a production standpoint, from a wrestling setup standpoint. I really can't wait to check out their match they had tonight. Okay? I really hope it went on. It was supposed to happen on last week's episode of NXT TV, but they couldn't have it because of Tomato Ciabatta's injury, so they had to have an impromptu five-way to determine who would be the contender going into the NXT title match over at NXT TakeOver New York 4 against Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match. How's that for having deep lungs? But again, check out this match. It doesn't last long because it's a double countout, but it's so much fun. So much fun. Can they work a crowd? The crowd was worked up by what they were doing. Oh, the crowd was worked by what they were doing, but it's a studio crowd. I don't think it really makes much difference. Also, during my binging, I got to watch 2 weeks worth of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Now, I could go over all of the teams that are involved. I could go over, I could go over all of that. Pretty sure you'd find a way to talk about lungs. Yeah, I can talk without lungs. I try. Here's one thing I need to talk about when it comes to the NXT product as a whole and tag team wrestling within the NXT product. They try to make every match epic. They try to make it with these incredible spots, and they kick out instead of being broken up by the other partner. Tag team wrestling in NXT is not like what it was in its infancy. In its infancy, you had teams that you could really differentiate from. You had the Ascension, you had Lucha Dragons, and you kind of had other mishmash tag teams here and there. Those are the main two that come to my mind when I talk about NXT in its infancy. NXT's tag team wrestling has changed dramatically since the inception of the WWE Network and putting NXT as one of its main regular television shows. It's harder to follow. NXT as a product is really hard to follow when you think about it. For example, I kind of want you to look at this bracket with the Dusty Rhodes Classic. The first one I want to kind of start with, and I hope you can kind of see it here, and it's on the bottom right corner. Aleister Black and Ricochet versus Fabian Aichner and Marcel Barthel. So, Aleister Black and Ricochet, you've seen them all over Raw and SmackDown. You know what they are, okay? Aichner and Barthel are known as the European Union on NXT UK. You don't really... Is that something that's essential for this? No, not at all. But they go into this match. Okay? This match went for 15 to 20 minutes. Spots galore from everyone involved. There was no showcase talent in this. You know, for example, when we watch tag team wrestling, you know that there's a showcase talent. Like this is the Braun Strowman show when he has Finn Balor as his tag team partner going against Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. We know that it is this person's show because they are the babyface in peril, or it is this person's show because they get the hot tag and they get all the offense. In every one of these matches, they all felt the same. Every match had its hot tag, but no one was showcased. They traded off their finishers and high spots here and there. The rest spots are easy to spot. These are episodes you can easily miss. They are not worth it. Okay? Tag team wrestling in NXT has devolved into something that is monotonous, that has no character, that is just there to do stuff. Do you blame the revival and DIY for that? No, not necessarily. What you can kind of blame is the product itself and the writing staff and all the performers within NXT, not believing their own hype, but getting more contained in their bubble. We should adequately compare NXT to TNA. And I'm not saying because TNA was a failed business and was just a pyramid Ponzi scheme to get old farts money and take advantage of young people's young, athletic, nubile bodies. No. The reason we should compare NXT to TNA is because of the studio audience and the studio environment and taping 3 or 4 episodes within a 1-week time frame. Okay? When you self-contain yourself in that bubble, you don't really branch out. And it doesn't lead you to build other performers that can lead into better things. Like what's happening right now. Aleister Black and Ricochet have been a tag team appearance on Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown for the past 4 weeks. Not doing anything else. Just being a tag team. Why? Is it to promote the Dusty Rhodes Classic? No. They never mentioned the television show of NXT at all during Monday Night Raw or Tuesday Night SmackDown and what they're doing on that show. Never mentioned it. That's what's happening with the NXT crop of talent that comes into Raw and SmackDown. They are not adequately prepared for that environment that they come into. They just aren't. What is it? And they might be good in the ring, but they aren't good at built character. They aren't very well at playing off of a crowd. Do you realize that the last time we saw EC3 was being part of people watching a television to see Kofi Kingston or the New Day win a match? Hell, NXT performers appear on the WWE milk carton on a weekly basis. Hi, Ascension. So, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Not really my cup of tea. The only act I would pay attention with this is the Forgotten Sons that went against Aleister Black and Ricochet, and I'm sure that won said match tonight because they are a decent act. I really like what their gimmick is. Their gimmick is that they are forgotten people. That They have got a Sons of Anarchy angst to them. Oh, very good act. Very good act. Speaking of Forgotten Sons, these guys are a really good act. Would I bring them to the main roster? No. No, no, no. We have brought way too many people from NXT up to the main roster. We need to stop this. Okay? We don't need to do this. Okay? The main roster has 112 talents on them that are not commentators or announcers. We don't need this. Keep these guys on NXT. Jackson Riker in the center alongside Cutler and Murphy are a fabulous act. I mean, Jackson Riker's just stone blank stare. His eyes do more emoting than probably 3/4 of the NXT roster. He is fantastic. Check this act out if you haven't. Dominik Dijakovic. Oh, I said alongside Keith Lee in their great match that they had on the February 27th episode of NXT TV. Has a great look. A great look. It only once in a lifetime do you get a performer who stands over 6'7", 6'8", and is built well, can move well in the ring. It's like almost a Nathan Jones-like talent or a Matt Morgan. Okay? You don't get talents this often. Okay? You can't screw this one up. And what I mean is you can't screw this one up by your own doing. Why in the hell is he going by his own name? Dominik Dijakovic. Dijakovic. Am I even pronouncing it right? I don't know. There's zero chance, even if he's keeping that name, if he's ever called up, he needs to change that name. It's bad. What's more is he likes doing this. His little catchphrase is "feast your eyes." That's got to change quickly. That ain't going to fly. This guy, he's from Worcester, Massachusetts. Would you believe that, Jason? Dominik Dijakovic is from Worcester, Massachusetts, but he's of Croatian descent. Yeah. A lot of stuff has got to change with his character. Okay? Has got to change there. He's got the look. The look is down pat. Okay? Same with Keith Lee. Okay? This guy is just a bowling ball of fun. All right? I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm getting all Hunter Golden now that I've gotten older and been doing this Wrestleview stuff. I have begun to fall in love with the tubs of fun. Okay? The Keith Lees, the Otises, the Rusevs, the Walters. Okay? I don't know what it is. I can't identify with them. I'm a tall, svelte, skinny type person who's very handsome, by the way. You like my haircut? Keith Lee is fun. Okay, he's a very, very fun act. Incredibly athletic. Okay. However, there are some things we may need to change. Like he always likes to say, bask in his glory. It's got to change a little bit. A little bit. He's got a set of pipes. Okay, this guy's got a set of pipes on the microphone. Okay. This is going to be a very, very fun act. All right. This guy is going to be a champion very, 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 very soon. All right. Yeah. It's going to be a really fun act. I would not bring him to the main roster anytime soon. Wouldn't bring him anytime. One female talent, though, that has gotten my attention just by the look alone. Okay. And she made an appearance at the Women's Royal Rumble earlier this year, is Xia Li. Okay. She's the first ever Chinese female performer to ever join the WWE roster. She stands maybe about 5'4", 5'4", 5'5", very stout. A very stout performer. Andrew asking Bianca Belair, does she still do the hair thing? Hell yeah, she does. It's fantastic. Xia Li, though, she has a look and an act about her that would absolutely fit perfectly on the main roster. I would love to bring her to the main roster. She would fit perfectly. No one else has a look like her. The way that she carries herself in the ring is a pure martial artist. She doesn't grapple. Hardly ever. You don't see her doing hip tosses or rest spots or anything like that. No submission holds. She's kicking and doing karate and stuff like that. I mean, she has a look and a demeanor about her that is nowhere to be found. And that's the difference between when you call up NXT talents to the main roster, you had better be able to differentiate them from anyone else you have on the main roster. Well, Doug, she's Chinese. Of course she's going to look different. Well, no. It's her look, how she carries herself in the ring, the story she tells in the ring, the story that she tells of, like, I don't have to grab you to beat you. I'm going to scare the shit out of you by throwing kicks your way and back you into a corner. Her match against Mia Yim on the February 13th episode, I believe, of NXT. Check that one out. Mia Yim wins. But check that match out. Okay, that was Xia Li's coming in. It was her debut match, I believe, for NXT. I think she would be a perfect fit for the main roster. Anywhere, Raw or SmackDown. She doesn't need to be a goddamn champion, okay? There's a fit for her. Just because you're called up doesn't mean you're immediately put into a main event program. There's a spot for you on the television show to do that or be an augmentative talent. She is absolutely one of them. She could be a mainstay on a women's roster of NXT or the main roster for years to come. Years to come. Just don't step on the gas pedal. Don't step on the gas pedal. Yeah, Jason, it's called the mid-card. The problem is, whenever we seem to bring people from NXT on over to the main roster, everyone expects them to catapult into the main card. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about this cat, Matt Riddle. All right? You want to talk looks. And a particular look. That's the guy. Okay? Bro. Okay? He has this down pat. Ever since when he signed his WWE contract, everyone was very, very skeptical about it. All right? Incredibly skeptical. Oh, he's going to fail a drug test. This guy knows wrestling. All right? He's got the look down. He's great on the stick. God, he's wrestling barefoot in the ring with no elbow pads or knee pads. Going full-on MMA is what he's doing, okay? Flip-flops and a backwards hat. Kicks the flip-flops out of the ring when he gets in the ring. His ring entrance theme is like Dr. Dre's Snoop Dogg early 90s because, yeah, we aren't supposed to think that he's doing any chronic. But, all right. This guy, Matt Riddle, is great. All right? Aside from the look. The facial expressions, he's got the emoting down to a science. Check out his match, February the 6th, the very first one I watched, against Drew Gulak. Okay, normally I cannot stand that they shook hands after the match. I can't stand fucking respect fests and stuff. Watch this match just to know how good he is as a babyface in peril. He is fantastic as a babyface in peril. Okay? He is way better. He is better than Rusev or Snuka when it comes to wrestling barefoot. Way better. Don't need to worry about the hairy knees or hairy legs because he's light-haired. So don't need to worry about... Is that something I pay attention to on a regular basis? Consult the sources. No, Doug, you're not. You have a girlfriend. Matt Riddle is a fantastic performer. He's going to have a match against Velveteen Dream at NXT TakeOver. That's going to be severely entertaining. Severely entertaining. Matt Riddle, as a performer, he's got it. How soon would I bring him to the main roster? As long as there's a Bork laser? No. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while until I bring him to the main roster. And I'm not even sure where I would place him. He has a look. He has a look that differentiates himself from everyone else. I just don't know what I would do. What heels would I place him with? You know, what would I do? I'm not sure. Gil saying he wanted to retire Brock. Yeah, we saw that on the Twitter. He wants to retire Brock Lesnar. Well, that ain't going to happen anytime soon. You know, and he just got to NXT, as Grash said. It hasn't even been a calendar year. It's now time to get to the bad about NXT. On the February 13th episode of NXT, we saw a women's tag team match, or a women's match of some kind, that involved Aaliyah and this chick, Vanessa Bourne, squaring off against Tanari Conti, I think, and someone else. I'm not sure. There will be Ugly. No, Ugly will be coming soon, Grash. This is Vanessa Bourne, known as The Vision in NXT. The NXT women's division has gone south. Really south. Really bad. This is not your Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch women's division of NXT. This is bad. Really bad. This is what happens when you bring up the Iconics and Ember Moon and Asuka too quickly. Okay? It's bad. I cannot describe it. They stutter step like Scooby-Doo cartoons. They take way too long in spotting. This is bad. Gil's saying Shayna is holding the division hostage. She is the division. Right now, she is the division. Don't get me wrong. Bianca Belair is a great character. Fun act. But you got to have more than just those two. And Xia Li has a look all of her own, but if she ain't got no one else to work with, it doesn't matter. Jason saying NXT in general went south. They ripped out all the talent to blow them on SmackDown and Raw without having anything behind. Kinda. I guess. I really don't want to say that. You know? I just have a feeling that we are not going to be seeing any more NXT call-ups for a very long time. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in NXT, especially in the women's division. A lot of work. It's now time to get to the ugly. And I'm not saying, and it's not, no. It's not in a chauvinistic way. It's in a wrestling way. No, not in a wrestling way. It's in a wrestling critique way and fantasy booking way. The ugly about NXT and everyone fantasy booking as wrestling fans and constantly saying that, oh, look at this, the 4 horsewomen. Oh, we're going to have a 4 horsewomen match. Oh, we got Shayna Baszler as the champion.
Ronda Rousey's going to be at the WrestleMania, and she's going against 2 of the original horsewomen. And Sasha Banks and Bayley, they got the tag titles, and then all 4 of them can go against all the other 4, and all the titles can be put up against each other. And oh, God, it's going to be so great. I've got an erection.
No. I just said the NXT women's division is shit. Have you seen Duke and Shafir in action? There is a reason that those two were only showed once during my 7-episode watching of NXT tonight. They need some work. A lot of work. Okay? It ain't happening for a long time. A long time. Who's saying it? It's on the Twitter. It's on the Facebook. Groups are saying it. Wrestling fans are saying it. They want it. The problem is the people that are saying that they want it and blah, 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 blah haven't been watching TV. They only read results. They don't watch what the hell is going on. These four are not going to be in anything collectively for at least 3 years. No way in hell. Shayna Baszler has this down more than Ronda Rousey does. She delivers a promo way better than Ronda Rousey does. Her in-ring storytelling is way better than Ronda Rousey's is. I see a match between Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey before I see the 4 horsemen versus 4 horsewomen ever. Rousey Baszler will happen within 1 year. It will happen. Duke and Shafir, that's not the point. No. Okay. Shayna Baszler is carrying the NXT women's division if there is such a thing. Will they ever call her up to the main roster? If they do, that will be the death of NXT women's wrestling. They can't do it right now. They have no incentive of doing it right now. They cannot make that sacrifice. They have to build up what they have right now before sending Baszler to the main roster, which means they won't send her to the main roster for at least 6 months is my time frame right now. Source is 6 months. Yep, 6 months. Women need to be built up in NXT first. Duke and Shafir, it's going to take a very, very long time. Bianca Belair definitely can get there. Okay, Mia Yim definitely can get there. Xia Li could get there. Other women that they have, Katie Catanzaro, the American Ninja winner that does all the stunts and the handstands and the thing, she can get there. In time, we'll see Baszler come to the main roster. The soonest I'm looking, the earliest I'm looking at is 6 months. SummerSlam? No, not really. Past SummerSlam. In between that and Survivor Series is what I'm looking at. Survivor Series would be a great time to bring her in. And that would help build into a WrestleMania Rousey-Baszler match, I think. Because you want to bring Baszler into the main roster to set up for the Rousey, oh my God, we're fantasy booking. Am I fantasy booking for WrestleMania for next year? Oh my God, Doug, are you doing what WWE Corporate will be doing the Monday following WrestleMania? I am. Because that's what they do. And that's what we as fans should try to do with a level head, an open mind, critical thinking, logic, and plenty of sources. Jason trying to talk me off of the bridge. Too soon, Doug. Too soon. Don't do it, Doug. Do a flip. Not yet. Not yet. No, we're not booking WrestleMania. Next year's WrestleMania. No, we're not booking it. not until after WrestleMania is done. Because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what they do over at the brand new Titan Towers at Sanford. That's what they do. Okay? So, I got to hold my horses here. No, I can't do. No, I do a shitty moonsault. Okay? I'll do a can opener. Okay? No, that's what I'll do. Anyway. That's going to do it for Wrestleview Weekly. You know, I adequately prepare for this show. Goddamn graphic is stuck up in the corner. I thought I adjusted that to be fully behind me. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Everyone in the chat room, Jason, Michael, Jamel, CJ, Crash, Daniel, who cares about you? Anyone else? Gills, I think I mentioned you already. Anyone else who's trying to talk me off the ledge? Guy who said his mom died. I don't believe you. Yeah, I don't believe you. Thank you all so much. Oh, Andrew. Oh, yeah, God damn it, Andrew. I'm horrible. Andrew, thank you so much. Everyone for stopping by. Mention your names in the chat room while I can because I'm about to plug some other shit. Thank you all so much for stopping by this episode of Wrestleview Weekly. Tune in next week. Of course, next Monday, Mike and Victoria, who we hope is feeling better after being sick. I don't know if it's allergies or whatnot. I hope she gets to feeling better because she's the only reason we watch that show. No, I'm kidding. Mike and Victoria will be recapping Monday Night Raw next week, the go-home show for WrestleMania. Tune in next week here. We will predict WrestleMania weekend. There is sure to be 20 matches that we have got to floor through. And that means at least 8 lock picks, which means potentially 8 shots of tequila that I could be taking through the following show. So, tune in next week. We're going to talk a lot about the WrestleMania weekend with NXT and WrestleMania news. Raw, the go-home episodes of Raw and Smackdown. Holy crap, I love this beer. Rash admitting, no, it's true. Victoria is why we watch. Yeah, we know that. So, anyway, thank you all so much for stopping by. It was actually really fun binge watching all of this NXT and talking about it. But I can only think that the next time that I'm binge watching this, it's going to be between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. We're talking potentially 14 to 15 episodes of NXT that I will cram into one show. The things I do for love. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. See you guys next week. Know when you're being sold to.